keep my thumbs here. I control the guy's head, control the arm right here. I pull his head to my shoulder. I never put my head down in here. I want this space to work with, okay? When I take my shot or when I put him in motion, I put myself in motion. My style, I like to put my opponent in motion the whole time, okay? I don't like to just stand here and just kind of pick and, you know, and just pose and just kind of crowd. I like to get in here and I like to move the guy. I like to get him off balance. Mess with the head a bit. A lot of snapping, pushing, body fake the whole time. But everything, you guys, starts from this inside control. Okay? This is, for me, this is basic fundamental wrestling, is just this inside control for all my leg shots. Because from here, I can hit my inside single. From here. Okay? I can hit my high cross. I can hit my double. I can hit my fireman's carry. I can hit my duck. I can hit my arm throw. I can hit a headlock from here. I can hit a front headlock, work a snap or something. It all starts from this. Okay? And when I'm wrestling and competing, or was, that's all I was trying. I was just in here. Okay, I'm moving them. Wait, look for the single. It's not there. Look for the high cross. It's not there. Look for the carry. You know, he's got his legs real far away. I take a shot, snap him back down, go behind. So it's all, this right here is the basic setup for a lot of my leg shots and takedowns right here. It gets a little more, how can I say, advanced. It depends what he does also. He's also going to try for inside control, or, you know, he could tie me up. In here, I pull in the elbows, maybe go to my 2-on-1, or pull the elbows in here, and then work inside control and get mine. But basically, I'm always trying to work this inside control, right here. I can change it right here and move it. Come off balance the whole time. Snap. Hit him wide, there's my shot. So I'm always working this inside control right here. John has a similar style. A lot of kids, his coach, a lot of the kids he coaches, they're all in there right here. They're all working this. Single right there. High crotch. Fireman's. It's all from here. Let's see, what's single? They were great on double leg takedowns, the science of double leg takedowns. And for me, you know, I had to pick their brains for it. And see, the reason why they can get such good penetration and speed is when they wrestle, okay, I think a lot of coaches, and even I used to emphasize it, you got to penetrate deep. Penetrate. You see a lot of kids doing this. Even I used to do it like this. Step in deep. Step in between the legs. Break that plane. Right here. But one thing we never emphasized was these hands and arms, shooting them at the same time. That's where your speed and your penetration goes. And you want to hit the guy hard like a football tackle. Pop and knock the wind out of him. So when I got there, they said, you got to start shooting your hands. At the same time I shoot my hands, my leg goes. My penetration leg. That's all I used to do. Slip through those shots right there. Shoot those hands. Single leg. If I did a single leg, I call it throwing the punch. That's all I do. That's what gets my speed in there. Everything, my hands and arms are going to penetrate this. It's not so much this. When I'm in here controlling, my hands go. Notice I really extend them. Right here. Shoot. Cut that corner. Control the hip. So, my double leg, I'm in here all the time right here. Moving them. There's my shot. I never like to stay on, even on a high crotch. Outside leg. That right there, that technique Joe's doing, Joe and I used to, we'd spend a half hour after practice almost every day just drilling that. I can just picture us doing that in the room. Joe would just sit there, I'd stand here and be his partner, and he would just shoot those hands. See the three different things he did right there? First one, he didn't hit his knees, but what did he do? He shot his hands. Turned the corner one time, the other time he didn't turn the corner. The key is shooting the hands. I know Joe came back from Japan,
And he taught this to me. And it made my shots a lot better. Just shooting those hands, that makes all the difference. And I know a lot of people don't teach that. Shooting, it's timing right there. We would just sit and practice, just shooting those hands right there. We shoot.
Easy, old man, easy. But here, some do this, I don't know, whatever you prefer. I feel stronger right here. The calf, because I'm right at the joint, okay, and he starts to sprawl, it's hard for him to sprawl. If I'm at the calf right here, my arms are much more extended, therefore I'm weaker. As soon as I get to this position, if I can bend this knee joint like that, it's hard for him to sprawl, you know. But I mean, like, that's what I prefer. If it works for you or your kids, then do it. You know?
I wrap, I call it wrapping. When I shoot my double, I'm here, right there. If Joe starts to sprawl, you know, I'll pull him in. I'll wrap.
Okay. First of all, I pull his elbows in just so he won't snap me down. I crowd into him, okay? Then, if I can't get inside control, I go to my 2-on-1. Again, you know, I grab the far wrist. I never use I call this a true grip. I don't know if you're gymnastics. It's like this. I don't like to have my thumb. I'm always like a karate chop. I call this a false grip or monkey grip. So I'll always grab it right here and I'll pull it in, okay? So I'm in here. Sometimes I got to crowd and then back up to create this space so I can get it out. Then I crowd in this position right in here. Pull it in my chest tight. Okay, now it all depends what he does, okay? Sometimes I'll drop down to my single. Now, a lot of people are taught to grab like this. I like to step in like a single leg snag right here. Okay, snag the leg. Whatever he does, it doesn't matter. I'm pulling myself in and driving up into it. It's easier for me to come down and do this than to do this. Okay, right here. Pull it out. Okay, if he straight starts to square up with me, then I got my fireman's carry, okay? Or if he posts that, then I can hit a double, but I usually don't do that myself. If he straightens up, right in here, he starts straightening up on me right here. Okay, now see right there's a single leg. Right there. You get a lot of guys that do that. Especially, he starts to reach for that elbow, pull me in right there. When he does that, he just leave my arm right there. Here's my single. So in a way, he grabs that arm, that elbow to pull it in. I'm going to start pulling it in. There's my single. That's why I like to drop for that single leg snag that way. I don't know what you would call this. Okay, now what I have to do is, instead of the false grip, bring my thumb around and I grab my wrist right here, and I can pull down. And that's what I usually do when guys get in here and start backing up. Right in here, I can't work anything. Okay, so I turn it right in here like this. Then I can pull them. It's like I'm whizzering them. Okay, right here, that's all I'm doing. I can really put some snap into it.
Yeah.
Like that, go behind. Right there. Guy grabs my wrist. Okay, wrestling, he grabs my wrist, I go to my 2-on-1. Okay, it's not actually a drag. I call it wrist drag. Grab right here, pull it in, there's my 2-on-1. Again, he grabs my wrist right here, come across. There's my 2-on-1, big leg snag. Guys familiar with Barzigar from Iran? Okay, it's actually come out in front and hit a double. Okay. That's the first time I've ever seen this guy do it. So I just named Barzigar. I hit the single, and notice I drive into this leg. This helps bring this leg up. See? Now to set it up a lot of times, I try to run the pipe. This leg's got to come in to keep this balance so it won't go down. As he starts to hop up and down, I kind of time it, and that's when I hit it. So I'm here like this. You know.
Trying to pay me back for all the times I beat up on him in the room.
Your dreams. So right here, see? He's not going down. And notice what I'm doing. I'm throwing the leg to the outside. I'm coming out in front of him. I'm bringing everything to the opposite side. Look where my head's at. Look where my body. Look where I stepped. This leg. Right here. See that? I just block. I don't try to stop here and try to force it with my arms. I start walking or running right here. Position, I see a lot of high school kids get in this position and they think they're good position. As long as their hands are locked, they feel safe. But in reality, I'm using twice as much energy as John is, okay? Because I'm holding my weight, trying to suck this leg up, and I'm holding his weight. So as long as John knows the good basics of just staying square with me and his zips out, now I'm in here, you see guys doing this, okay? And they will not let go of this lock. I'm in a terrible position for me. I see a lot of high school kids do that. The little secret, and I'm sure a lot of you guys already know it, if I get extended in this, stronger than one around the leg. But for some scientific reason, as soon as I let go of this hand and plant, it seems like I'm strong. I don't know. I'm right here. As soon as I plant this here, look what happens. I'm up. I got his leg up. I got my hips underneath me. I can come out the back door, or okay, go ahead and roll right here. Step in the hole, or come up with a leg. I don't know. It just works. Something about this science can't explain, but I hate to be in this position. Like I said, I do not want to be on my knees. I do not stop here and suck it up. Plant, start crawling up to my feet, right here. Now from here I can hit my bars of guard, okay? Because I'm already in kind of a bad position. I don't have an angle. I'm out in front of him, and that's how I hit it.
Pop in your head. You're trying to keep your head up, right? And then it shoots. It just catches you a lot of times. Always popping. A lot of pressure.
That pressure I can maybe you guys can relate to it, but if you ever had your old man when you were a little kid come up to you and just pop, hit you in the back of the head and you go, whoo! Same thing, okay? Oh man, and when I misbehave, boom! Right there. What's wrong with you, Anthony? Okay, so it's that pop right there. Okay, you're actually, it's like you really want to jar his brains. Wrestling's a physical sport. Get physical out there. Pop, pop, boom.
It keeps you off balance as a wrestler, and I know that was one of his best techniques. He would take guys down just off body fakes and then shooting without even touching them.
Yeah. How I worked that kind of situation, that setup, it just came kind of natural. I just saw an opening, and I could usually hit an outside shot when I faked. And it came through this type of drilling that John would just stand here, and I just hit this stuff right here. So I start faking, guys start, trying to keep up with me, go my pace. They change their pace to my pace and stuff. They'll start trying to get a hold of me, and then that's when I hit my shot. As soon as I saw them starting to reach, I went, okay? Now, and the way I would come in, my arms would be in here like this. So when I went, I didn't shoot out here like this. They were in here like this. So you'd be surprised. When this goes, he's a half a second behind for some reason. I don't know how to explain it. He can see me shooting like this, okay? If I just right in here, and go and shoot those hands. And so when I come out here, it's like you do this, right here. Hey. I'm going to tie up and I pull him in. Right here. Right here.
Well, you think he's going to tie up. He's going to reach for you. Joe's coming out, reaching, and I'm reaching, and then boom, he's hitting those arms.
That's the only way for him to reach. Notice I drop my level because I'm ready to shoot. Right here. Right here. There's my shot. I just don't want to stay at one level and just do this, Right here. Back and forth. Here. When I want to bring it up, okay, I use this thigh to keep the pressure of this leg going up. Then sometimes I'll get this elbow deep to bring it up right here. Okay. Now, I can sweep the leg. I can step right here. I don't know what you call that one. Those wells, do you call that anything?
Schultz.
Schultz does, that's
Hip
right.
turn, hip turn.
Ankle breaker.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I like to do the ankle breaker. Okay, from here, I just, bring the guy out here like this. Boom! He wants to go down. Okay? So I like to use that one. Get it up right here. Tight. Okay? And step. I try to step right here. If I can't get past that guy's leg, no problem. John's real flexible. Okay, right here, and all I do is, it's like I'm whizzering his shin right here and hipping it. I'm not even looking at it. I'm not worried about him coming around, especially get those guys that are leggers, like to slop and funk stuff, because because I got it right here. He starts to come around on me, I'll snap his shin, okay? Spear through, right here. Go down here. Or, I want to get the leg higher and say I'm trying this first move off the spear, right here. The jaw goes down, comes back up, then I'll bring his leg up. Then I help, okay? Or, if I can, I do the spear right here. Then it goes close to hand, starts to come up. I change from here, okay, as he's coming up, I catch back here. So right here, oh, get it. Here, spear, catch both ankles. I don't know if you guys saw that. And then I come right here. Crowd in. Then come up this way. Okay. If I get it this way, sometimes I'll get it this way. Right here, pull it out this way. Now, again, say if he's posting, you guys are posting the outside right there. Okay? Here we go. Oh. That's something with karate chop. Run fight. Crap in the bush, I don't know what you guys call it. Pretty much self-motivated when we were in college, so, you know, it'd just be basically him and I and a couple other guys in the morning drilling our own, and we could push ourselves with some good tunes going on, okay? But, you know, I noticed when I was coaching at Arizona State, and then I, you know, I was coaching at Cal State. It's like, you know, even at college level, you got to get them by their hand and make them do it, or they won't do it. So you got to drill a lot of situations. So I said, okay, get a partner, okay? For 3 minutes, I'll let one guy drill on the other guy, okay? And the way John and I were drilling earlier, we just flip the corner, let him go. John get right back in his stance. Single leg, drag him up in here, okay? This is all I'm doing right here. I had the kids do that for 3 minutes, one kid, just like that. And then I said, time.
Everyone's going to do penetration down the drill, down the mat, right here. You know, go all the way down. We'll do deep step, you know, we'll come back with outside step drilling. I'll do a drill where I'll say sprawl. Sprawl. Shoot. Shoot. So we'll do that kind of 3-4 days a week for 45 minutes to an hour. That was part of our aerobic workout. And we just got so, you know, our timing just got so good. And it carried over into the matches. Sometimes it looked like, if you ever watch Joe or myself, I mean, sometimes, you know, people say, well, you're slick. Yeah, why? Because we drilled our brains out. You know, it was just natural. We were smooth. It was effortless a lot of times.
Practice was harder than that.
Yeah, the drilling just paid off.
Yeah, and as far as situation drills, I mean, I did this at Arizona State, and John did this. You know, okay, guys get on a single, start from here, you know, and that's one way they can learn how to, you know, drill a single leg finish, but kind of in a life situation, for like maybe a 30-second go or something like that, or 15-second go.
Yeah, situations are a great way to learn. Say, it's more specific. Say you're working on single leg finishes. You go over the stuff, then you go, okay, now get in good position. Go
back, you know, back straight, head up, keeping their weight on the balls of the feet, you know, maybe moving side to side. If they like to use a square stance, some guys like to use a stagger stance, okay? Sometimes when I get tired, especially at my age, I slow down the pace and I'll go like this and rest right here and just kind of post right here and let that guy come to me, okay? And to me, this is the way Joe
teach them how to drill, you know, keep that good stance. And when my kids drill, I don't allow them to do this, and I see it at clinics. Now you're going to drill a tie-up to a double. Here's what a lot of them do. They go like this, okay? And then they shoot a double. I don't allow my kids to come out of their stance. I tell them before you engage, get in your stance. So automatically, they do that all year. They never come out of their stance. So many kids drill like this. What happens when you practice a certain way? You're going to do that in matches. You're going to come out there. I don't know. I take Joe down right here. We go to the mat. I get back up. I'm right here. I never come out of my stance. Even the drill partner I don't allow. So I get in my stance. I'm going to shoot a double leg. I take Joe down right here. I'm up right here. And he's up in his stance. Even the drill partner, don't let him get up and do this, you know, they get up and they're right here, ready to go again.
Makes me a little nervous. I have a feeling he's going to operate.
All right, I'm going to do tilts and turns. The rules changed a little bit. I used to teach this one a lot, where you just come deep waist, knock the guy down, and then tilt him right here. And what I was the rules were different when I was teaching that. It was an instantaneous. Now it's a 2-second exposure, I'm told today, for at 45, all right? Pretty much. And do you find that your college guys have a hard time holding that for two?
Yeah. If they go through the crotch, like
Right.
grab something.
Right, and that's what I'm going to talk about, basically, is securing a little bit tighter holds to use the same technique, because it's a good technique. It's not a good pinning technique per se, although I can get into pinning combinations off of it. But it is a good technique. Now, the first one I'm going to show you is just, you guys kind of done riding a little bit already, is just a regular cross wrist. Okay, you come here. Now, again, on all my tight waist stuff, I like to do this. I don't come here off the whistle. I'll just get inside both arms and get my arm real deep, all the way over to this far hip if I can. Okay, rather than trying to come here. Okay, now I just keep my hips with his. See this? And I drive with my legs, chop, and now I'm going to catch his wrist. Right here. Basically what I do is I drive him over his arm. More than a chop, I'm just posting his arm here and pushing, see? I push him over his arm, and now I catch his wrist. My hips are still right behind him, and from here, you can tilt a man with a cross wrist, right here. And I'll show you a little North Korean trick. They'll come right here. Now they'll come here, and the guy fight belly down. Here, they come right there. Now, the guy can't really go anywhere. And I'll just go right here now and attack the head. You can even get a pin out of it. It's funky too, good for the crowd. Makes them happy. They saw something different here. Out of your hair, tight waist, chop, boom. Now you're tilting, look, it's not that complicated. It looks complicated, but all you're really doing is stepping over this leg. Right there. And now he can't turn either way. He turns that way, his leg's caught. He turns the other way, his leg's caught. Really, you don't even need the arm. And now you just face it. Right there. Okay? If you do want to try this kind of variation, by the way, it works with any hip tip. It would work with this hip tip with just a waist. It'll work with a double wrist, whatever this is. Here, all you're doing is you're walking your hips under. Right here. Plus, you got him exposed right now, see? He's going to go belly down. You can do right here. Just step over. He's caught. Now, you might think that's garbage, but I've seen this little North Korean just tear up good people with that garbage. All right. That's cross wrist to tilt to step over. Now, other ways to get a tilt, just near wrist is nice, you know, to get a near wrist series. Here, I won't talk about securing the near wrist too much. What I will talk about is what you need to do with that arm in order to get a hip tip. The biggest mistake I see people make is rather than be hip to hip and try and control the man's hips to turn him, they'll have the near wrist up here at his chest like this and be pulling like this. All right? What I want to do before I'm ready to go on a hip tip from a near wrist is I want to suck him out. Here's how I get it. I take my knee and I ram him in his backside here, and I pull his arm all the way to his waist. Right here. All the way to his waist. And now I got his hips. And now I'll work to turn him. Now this is key on a hip tip. Actually, let me go through the basics of it. Key on a hip tip is, say you're doing it from right here, this knee isn't too high, it's not too low. It's right here at the hip, okay? It works the same way a gut wrench does. because in that, you want to pull the man into your lap. Okay, you want to pull the man into your lap, and now, when you get him right on his side, you're going to actually push him away from you to finish the turn, so that you end up at 45. No, 90. Okay, plus 40. So, let me see. If I got his wrist here and I got it at his waist, I'm going to start with my knee right at his hip. See this? Now I'm going to pull him into my lap. Now I'm not ready to turn him yet. This back leg circles off and catches right here under his foot. And now it elevates. Okay, you see how I'm scooting? As I elevate, I'm here, I got it, I start tipping. I'm doing this with this foot here. Push him down to my crotch with my arms, here or here, whatever my hold is, and I'm doing this with this foot as I elevate. And that's what gets me the 90-degree angle. I push him away and do that, now I hold him, and the beauty of having a 90 is, it's really hard for him to roll on top of you. You know, if he starts rolling, I'll just let him roll on himself and jump off. Okay, so I'll do it without the wrist. You're here. Okay, now watch. I'm pushing right there. That's all it took. Now, if he rolls into me, it's not near as bad as if I'm here and the guy rolls. He'll end up over on the other side of things. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. Now, did any of you guys use anything like this at all? Okay, what position are you starting from? Bar? Cramp? Okay, okay, now the hand's not through the crotch, right?
Right.
Just say what we're doing.
Right.
Okay. Okay, now this is double wrist, right? And what I'm doing on this is I'm pulling it right to his belly, as far down here as I can get it. And the way I do that, it's really hard to do it. My body's up here. Okay, plus this is a bad place to be, right? For me. Okay? Understand everything I say? You probably got a kid or taught something that works different. Don't worry about it. It's just something new. Okay, so I'm here. I want to get low and I want to pull that thing down to his lap. Now once I have this, anywhere Joe goes, I can put him in a tip situation. If he stands up there, I can bring him right over and I'm into it. Okay? As long as I stay hip to hip, I'm in pretty good shape. If he stood up with the other leg, here I can just bring him back. Anyway, you just pull him in your lap, basically, and then you turn him. Right there. That's where a lot of guys have trouble, because they don't cross wrist series. I like this series a lot. Here, and now you don't necessarily have to be here. You can just cut the elbow right here and achieve the same thing. Again, I'm pulling everything back, and it's raised, by the way. If you got a decent man, he's going to be peeling my fingers here right away, trying to come out. And once he's got his base on there, he's going to be a lot more powerful too. So I'm here, the first thing I'm going to do with him is cut him out. And I'm going to push him away and tilt. See that? Right there. He goes to his belly. Right now, I'm looking to get near fall points right now. Now the other thing to be aware of off this, and I'll show you a tilt off this too, off this cross wrist series, is you come here, a lot of times a man's going to reach back and peel. Now that's a big mistake for your man. It's a big mistake, but they do it all the time, which is wonderful. Just catch right here. Now you're into a bar series, and you can tilt off that as well. I'll go into bar and tilt just a second. What he should do, by the way, is he should use my elbow right on my forearm. So, now I got nothing to hook. If you ever do get caught in a cross wrist, like this, rather than trying to pull your wrist out, it's kind of bass backwards, you actually push it away. See that? If I try and pull it out, it's all tight and you can't do anything, so you push your arm away, take the forearm right there and you're out. Beautiful. But you got to do that before he gets weight on your shoulder, because once he puts weight on your shoulder, you got nothing to push with and you're going to get pinned. Make you sad. Your mom will cry. Just peel. Just peel fingers. Whenever you peel fingers, now the tangent, I apologize. Whenever you peel fingers, don't try and do this. Just start at the top finger and just hook right under the fingertip and start going. Okay, if it were here, this is top finger. I'd get right here at the fingertip and peel. Okay, and That should be helpful. We're getting out of stuff.
Near wrist.
Here, right? Okay, near wrist. Before I go, okay, there's other stuff people do, you know, through the crotch. They'll come here and catch the wrist like this. This is a great, great way to go on this thing. And the way you generally get it is you're riding here with the near wrist. You reach through the crotch. Let's turn that way. You can pull this arm deep and you can't really clear it too good. And all you got to do is take him off his base. Here and here. I like this. I got control either way. I can elevate here and with this back arm, he goes here, I pull down, and he's caught. Okay? Okay, this happens all the time. Now the guy's panicking. He's going, see how he's high up here? This is bad for me. What I do as a hip tip man is I don't try and turn him right away. I'm just going to post him and push him down, and now I'm going to create that angle. Where guys get in trouble is, they'll be here and the guy will be high and they'll start trying to turn him. And now they're going to get into this kind of flurry. Okay? You may win it, you may not. I can't say, you know. I know that if you just keep driving him down, it's a lot better. So that's what I basically do on any hip tip, is I take him to his hip, I take him forward, and I create the angle. Okay, and that's good solid teaching. I finally got around to some good solid teaching. I'm waking up. Alright, so here, see how I'm crashing his hip with my knee here. I'm just taking him over his hip, I'm taking him over his arm, I create the angle. And that's pretty well what I do with everything, here too. I'm not trying to take him forward like this. Just take him over his hip, now taking him over his arm is no problem because he doesn't have a base and just fall down. Boom. I do that same stuff. An arm bar, and he sits up. All I'm looking to do right now is just take him back down to his side, because once he's on his shoulder, he can't move. Okay? It's real key. Yeah, and I spent a lot of time like in this position here with the bar. This man starts coming up. Right now, all I do is push. I'm not even concerned with turning him. If I keep this hold, he'll get turned probably. If he doesn't, I usually feel real bad. Like I missed a big chance. Bar. Here, tilt. I'll just start with this way, okay? Now usually the guy's going to go belly down. He'll be peeling your hand, and I'm counting on him to be dopey and grab it. Okay, you come here, pull the arm deep to his side, plant your elbow in his back. Now it's not really a pain thing. If his shoulders are turned like this, I can turn him right now. Because I got weight planted on this shoulder again. Weight's planted on the shoulder, I just keep the weight here, he can't move, I can just drive him over right there. Real simple. Okay, if his shoulder's down and he's peeling, which is more common. Now see how his arm's flat? It's hard, right, to get the hook unless you pick him up. He's peeling my wrist here. I want to pick him up, see that? Now I can get under his arm. If he's here, I can't. You can't do this unless you bring your leg over. If I'm here, this happens. And you see this all the time, right? The guy goes like this. He pulls his head into the mat. You gotta have your legs under you to stand up, so you come here and you lift. Hook, deep. Okay, maybe I can turn him, probably I can't. He'll drive with his toes, get down. Now right here, I'm gonna come here. This arm's gonna go deep, right here. Okay, and I saw Joe working an arm bar with you yesterday. You didn't show hip tip on.
No.
Good. Thank you. This poor guy shows up. Right here now. Here's how I control a bar, and it's good from a few standpoints. The big one being, I mean, running a bar is great, but almost all refs stop it. Okay, so it's not great anymore. It's just a liability. So rather than take the arm out to the side here and do the old classic running a bar, I just lock it in and use it as a handle. Okay, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my arm straight across his back. You can make a fist. I like to make a fist. And I'm going to do this with my arm, and I'm going to push straight forward. They don't really see that, but that's what makes it tight. I clamp right here, and then I push. Okay, now I got a tight Now I fill that with my body right here. Okay, now what that does, it makes a huge difference which way his head's turned if you're coming around the other side with the bar. Because now, as long as my body's here, he can't turn into me unless he wants to twist his neck off. And he can't turn away from me because I got the bar here. If I get his head here, he can roll in me. See the difference? Okay, so that's I hook here, I bar. Now look, I've already got his weight here. I never took the weight off. I went here to here. And now if his weight's here, I'm going to try and get my arm deep as I can. I want to be armpit to his elbow right here. Okay, I hop off. I don't want my feet getting tied up. And right away I'll use a knife hand. I call that this is the side of my hand, just to cover his head. It doesn't have to be painful. All this is designed for, he's really only got one way out at this point, and that's to spin into me, which he's got little chance of doing well with, or to sit up. If somehow I don't get weight on his head and he's able to come here, he's got a real good chance now. I'm going to have to scramble to get his weight back down, or he could even reverse it. Okay, so that's what the knife hand is intended to do. And again, if I do miss the head and he starts coming up on me, the first thing I'm going to do is just push him down. Then I'm going to cover the head here. Okay? Try and get your arm from here. Armpit deep. Cover his head with your chest. Now right now, all I'm going to do is just get on your toes. Then you're going to pinch your elbows together, and that'll do this to this arm and head. You can't turn this way because of your body. You can't turn that way because it's locked out. And that's really, I think, the most powerful pinning combination, because I can put pressure directly on the shoulder blades with this part of my shoulder. That's what I use. I use this part of my shoulder, and I'm not going to have to go bridge. I'm just driving that in, pinching my elbows together, and whatever way he turns, I just compensate, you know. Just enough force. Tell kids, on pinning especially, don't rush a pin. The only reason to rush a pin is if you're running out of time. All you want to do is just stabilize everything and hold position. Because the best chance the guy's got of getting out is right when he's turned. Just the second he gets turned is his best chance. Right? Now, that's Joe's best chance. If I just stabilize everything, kill all the momentum, settle in, Joe's going to get pinned probably. Very few guys can get out. I probably never get pinned. Yeah. Okay, now, back to our subject. Hip tip. Okay, he goes belly down now, right? Now, it's a very powerful hip tip. And you'll see, it ties in. It just seems like a tangent. But I'll figure out a way to make it seem like I know what I'm doing. Okay, now he fights his shoulder down. What you're going to do is this. You're going to lift him up with your arm and grab around the waist. And now you're going to do a gut wrench, which is a very powerful hold. I'm going to go to my right. I'm going to start driving right here. Now, does this look, this is the hip tip position. Remember, I drove my knee in, and this is key, right up here above the hip. If I drove it in too low, and I want you to understand this because this is the danger of it. If I drive it in too low, there's a chance he could hip heist me. Okay? This is a bad thing. Okay? So right above the hip, right here. Now, try down a little bit, just left. There you go. Right here, I'm pulling. See, the arm's not coming away from the body. Even if he let go of his own body, which I don't want him to, by the way. I don't want him to let go. I want him to hold on, because that makes my hold tight. Now, here's the key. I don't pull him back to his back. I drive forward. See that? That brings this shoulder down. Right? I'm not even worried about turning him yet, although I could. And now you can tilt him right here. I just pull in this arm. I like to hook this leg. This is what keeps him from rolling into me on this. And I pull. Okay, now your high school kids will like this. If Joe does let go of his body down, you can come right here, shove the arm under. I'm doing it gingerly. And now you got the high school kid's favorite move, the guillotine, right? Okay? And that's what I'll do. If his arm comes low, I'll pull it down. Right here. Now pull it across my body. This hand, you notice, I've already turned him, right? You notice right now I just come up to my elbow. That gives me a lot more ability to move. If I'm here, I don't have much ability to move. Okay, and again, I keep him down. That's my main priority here. If he sits up, he's got a chance. As long as he's stuck on this shoulder, and I got this leg hook, he ain't going really anywhere. So if he starts sitting up on me, all I'm going to do is pull him back down. Right here. Extend that arm. Now it's starting to look pretty familiar for a leg wrestler. You can even have your kids doing this if it's legal in your state. I don't know. It's like speed. Okay, and then they can come either way with the arm. You know, they can stuff it under or they can bring it over. If they bring it over, have them just do this. Use both arms and then punch to the mat with their elbow right there. Okay? That's for guillotine. Now, the other one you can do off that is the bar. And everything's the same now. I'll have you do this now. Well, not you, but I'll show you. You got an arm bar. Now this is where more bars are lost than anything. Guys will come out to the side and the guy will shrug his arm forward. Okay? That's the main thing. All I am trying to do is anchor this arm to his side. I just don't want to lose it. And the way I do that, if I catch a bar, is I keep my hips behind me. Okay? I don't try and hold it with my arms so much as I just keep my hips real low. I got them locked. Right now, consistent with all the stuff we've done, I'm going to take him over his hip. I'm going to throw him forward, and I'm going to tilt. Okay? Now watch this. He's going to his belly. I'll just let go. See that little elevator there? I'm just taking my leg out from under, and now we're back to this thing. So they work together pretty good for me. Then we'll talk about a, no. Then we'll talk about another hold in the way to hip tip both ways with the ball. Okay, but you understand what I'm saying? Just stay real tight with the man, and this is consistent all the way up to the feet. This is consistent with top wrestling. Because even if Joe stands all the way up, I want my hips with him. Okay, if I do a cutback, and I'll just show you a cutback real quick. It's another tangent, but bear with me. I don't do this to do a cutback. See that? I'm not doing that. If I do a cutback, I do this here. I step here, my hips are tight to him, I block and pull them in a circle. My hips never come away from him, just here. Whatever side you want to block. If I want to block that side, I step here. If I want to block this side, I step here. See how tight I am to it right here? I step here, and now I pull him in a circle. I never get in trouble that way. If he doesn't fall, nothing bad happens. If he falls, that's great. Okay, so just same thing. If it doesn't work, I'm just here. Hold this up. I'm here. I block. Nothing happens. I don't do this. This is the key. You see your kids falling down. Not that far. That was gross exaggeration. You see your kids doing this on their trips. They can get in trouble because the guy can swivel his hips. If that makes sense. Okay, so keep your hips with the guy. Now back to punch. The hip tip, I'm going away from the bar side unless I control this hand here. Right there. Okay? That's now I'll talk about that right now. It's kind of hard to reach this hand. He's grabbing his own waist. It's kind of hard to reach it with my arm here. So what I do is this. I slip my shoulder behind his elbow. And that's key, because now I've just become a lot longer, see? I can grab my own arm now. Here, I can't.
You share like this with you?
Sure. Yeah, if you got kids that are bar kids, this will help them. You're here, okay, again, keep your hips behind the man. If I'm here, he's got a little strength. Here he's got very little. His only chance is a limp arm, really. Okay, now I'm going to come here, and I'm going to slip my shoulder behind his elbow. See that? I'll do that all the way from the mat as well. Okay, now I can reach all the way through, grab my own elbow, right here. And a lot of times I'm trying to tilt him this way. He's turning belly down hard here anyway. Look how easy this is. Now the fact is I'm real powerful with this hold. This hand's flat on the back. This hand controls the wrist. I can tilt powerfully either way with this hold. Okay, so I've got this. I've got this. I can come here just like this and tilt him. Same side we've been tilting here. Boom. Okay. Now I can't really pin so good with this. To pin him, what I would do is something like this. I'd let him back a little bit. Bring my arm out and keep him on his shoulder. Go for that one eye box. Okay? But like one of the Steiner brothers just clobbers. I mean, clobbers. Okay, so here he's fighting down. Now if he doesn't fight down, okay, he's giving me no resistance here. If he doesn't fight down, this isn't the thing to do. Okay? If he's coming into me, I'll keep going with him. Watch. Now this is just motion drill. No. Okay, now he starts coming into me. Watch. Just keep everything tight. If he starts turning into me, keep things tight. I got to turn with him. I want everything tight here. If he turns into me, I'll turn with him. So turn your other way. Right there. See what I'm saying? There's no danger there. But if I don't turn with him, it gets loose. Right? I mean, if Joe bars my arm, and I do this here, and he doesn't turn with me, there you go. Now I'm hating it. Does that make sense? All right. Saw two people not that. Okay? So, again, here, once you catch that bar, you stay right down on his hips here. If he turns with you, you turn with him. Right there. Now watch this. Right there, elbow. He's got this shoulder down. This is how I defeat this. He's got his shoulder down. You see kids all the time, the guy will throw his arm down, and the kid will end up over here. The reason this happens is because his arm's tight. Okay, once you slip that shoulder back, he's just kind of like, it becomes pathetic. It's not, you know, once you do this, see, and I can be extended out here. I'll just slide back rather than trying to fight his arm and get below the elbow right here. Now everything's forward, actually. The refs don't like this, but they don't see it, so screw them. Okay, everything's forward and pitched right here. All right, now I can run this bar right here again, just by pushing. And it's a really tight hold, this right here. But it doesn't look like what I'm really doing. What I'm really doing is this. Okay? It doesn't hurt, but it's pretty strong. And posting here. That's what I'm really doing. And I'm just trying to put his weight on this shoulder and do this movie. Okay, now the thing that's going to stop me is he's going to turn down. Okay, and if he does, I'm going to pick him up. See that? And grab. Okay? If you don't pick him up, you can't grab. And if you don't have your knee under you or step up with your foot, you can't pick him up. So, you know, you got to have some of these. You'll see kids get in there and they're going, I can't get my hands locked, whatever. What you got to do is this. You got to hold everything tight. Okay? And I don't like to let guys know what I'm doing. So I pretend like I'm still trying this thing here. See this foot come up? Right there. 1, 2. You can get 5. Let them back down. And if the ref awards the points, take him again. And the refs, a lot of times will give those points. Okay, right now it's tight. Now, when I do this, okay, he's turning his shoulder down a little bit. When I grab your own waist. That's what I'm looking for, by the way, on this, is for him to grab his own waist. When I do this, there's a chance he could limp on. See that? There's a point where it's not tight, not real tight, because I'm moving. And he could limp arm right here. Okay, now it's going to be hard for him to limp arm because one of the things I'm looking for is for him to be on this shoulder. Okay, and if you're on this shoulder, it's hard to swim that shoulder forward, right? But anyway, okay, what I'm saying, he's here and he turns shoulder down. If I do this, it's hard to limp. See what I'm saying? Because your shoulder's down. If you were here and I did this, it'd be pretty easy because you'd swim your shoulder forward. Okay? Anyway, the thing that makes it tight is this. I'll go right from here to here. Feel that? Now limp. It's hard. No, that's all right. It really doesn't hurt anybody. The reason people made this move illegal to do this is because people did this technique incorrectly. They reach up here like this, and they pry this arm out like that, and that's going to hurt a man. I don't want to hurt a man, but what I'm doing should be legal because it doesn't hurt anybody. It just makes it tight. All I'm doing is pushing. I'm pushing forward, but there's none of this. I don't want his arm to come out. What I really want him to do is to turn his shoulder down and fight me so I can pick him up, see? Right there and get his wrist. Does that make sense? Or he'll be laying flat, I'll run him right here. See that? Now he's in trouble because he's caught on his shoulder. But to answer your question, what stops the limp arm is A, you're on this shoulder, and B, when I come back, I do this right away. Okay, I'm going to be behind you. Okay, so what are you going to do with your arm?
Can you try and drive my shoulder down to the mat?
Okay, all I'm going to do now is this. Okay, so I'm just trying to catch your. I understand what you're saying. You can get your arm, push on my knee and grab my leg and stuff. If I'm here, I'm going to be behind you. Okay, now what do you do?
Not much.
Okay, just check. Okay. I'm not going to do it with pure drive. He's already down. I'm going to come up and I'm going to pull him into my lap. See that? See how I lift him? I'm going to lift him over this leg. Turn your shoulder down. Turn down. Down, down, down. Come on, turn your left shoulder down. There you go. Like this. Now I'm going to pick him up. See that? Pick him up, pull him into my lap. 1, 2. Like that. Thanks. But I think a bar and with the hip tilt basically is a better combination now than just a straight hip tilt because of the two things about a hip tilt, any hip tilt. Okay, you're here and you feel like you're losing it. The guy starts coming on top of you, just push him away. Okay, and it's not a normal reaction in wrestling because you want to control everything. But by pushing him away, the worst that's going to happen is it'll be a scramble and it'll probably end up with an escape. If you hold on to him, you could even get pinned with a bar. I mean, because look, my bar is his bar. We really have the same hold on each other. If we switch positions, now I'm not happy anymore, right? Now I'm real sad. I hope you'll let me sit up again. Okay? So if any kind of hip tilt, whether it's here, or here, or whatever, if I feel like I'm losing it and Joe's coming on top, this is my counter. I push away and come up. And basically, in those types of scramble situations, whoever gets elevation first is going to win. In other words, if Joe was able to come up first, I'm going to have a problem, right? But he's starting underneath me, and I got control of him, so I should win. He's here, I'm going to push him away as he turns, and be here, I'll win. I should win this every time. So that's 1. And 2, if the man does get his hips over you, okay, you can push away and turn belly down. That'll probably be a reversal. But if his hips are with you, just go with it. Just like a gut wrench. If I'm here and he starts coming over the top of me, I'll just go with it. Okay, just like a gut wrench. And that's kind of fast, but fairly important. Again, remember bars. Good way. Okay, what's the rule now on how long you can hold this foot now? Like a half second? 5 seconds now you can grab it? That's good. Okay, we'll do it right from flat on the mat. You do a near ankle breakdown. Or a far ankle, it doesn't matter. Whatever ankle you got, you're going to bar the opposite side. Okay, now all you're going to do is look for this. You want a hole here. This arm here can sneak through. And I'm going to reach through and kind of like scratch my own chest. I'm not trying to hook his arm so much as I am trying to get shoulder to shoulder here and get my arm all the way through to here. Okay? And subterfuge is like furtive, be sneaky, be sneaky. I don't want him to see this. If he does this with his arm, there's no hole. If he does this with his arm, there's no hole. I can't do it. I'm looking for that hole. It's consistent throughout life. I'm looking for that hole. Okay? I reach through, I scratch my own chest. Now watch this. Now he goes, oh, he's barring. Now what I do to get this bar is rather than trying to suck his arm back, although I am, I pull this foot. See what that does? Right there. Pull that foot. Again, he can't come up because of this. I'm here on top of him. All I've done is this right now. pushing right here. The shoulder's in, I'll just keep this foot and push. He doesn't have the post here. And now you know what I'm going to do. You know what I would do anyway. I'd hop over and run it. Let me show you one other thing here. It's not really a tangent. This is just something I forgot to say. I learned this from a little Bulgarian friend of mine. The guy's posting out here. He turns his hips this way. Okay, now you want to take this post out. And guys, if this is all you get out of the clinic, I won't say it's worth the price of admission, but when this guy showed me this, I'd been doing moves wrong for years. All he does is he steps up with his outside foot, and he uses his inside knee to drive the guy's weight over the arm. That's consistent on trap. And I'll show you what he showed me first, and then this is the application that I made up for him. He comes here, right? And the guy's posting, gets right here. See how his hips turn a little? Now he drives off this foot and kicks forward. See what that did to his arm? Yeah, right there. Okay, then I thought, well, you know, that looks like a good way to crash a guy's arm down on a bar. So I'm here, and the guy starts turning his hips. I come right here. See that? It's nice. Okay, now here's the deal. Right away, once you get here, see his feet? I want to get away from his feet right away, because he can tie up my feet and possibly avert a fall. So, I'm going to knock him down, get away from his feet, knife hand over the head. Boom, boom, boom. Real fast, okay? Okay? So this is just another way to get a bar, fellas. Here. Scratch your own belly. Right there. This doesn't look like much, but Joe can have his hand all the way to his ear now. He can have his hand straight over his head. Way up there, okay? And because I already got my arm through the hole, I'll just walk into the circle. See that? And again, if you got out, you turn the belly down, I'd come here. You know, it's all the same series. It's just different. And that's the beauty of wrestling. Now you have to understand a little philosophy. Like once you understand the way like one type of technique works, like a hip tip or double leg, or I mean a double leg, a high crotch, and a single aren't that much different. And once you really understand the fundamentals of one, it's real easy to apply one little trick and have a whole new way of getting into it. You see what I'm saying? So, for example, now any questions on this ankle thing? Okay, now here's how, let me say this. This is how your guys will get in trouble with it. Is they'll come here like this. Okay, and then they'll take all their weight off the fella and come here. The guy's going to start scrambling. I come right from here and watch where my shoulder goes. Boom. All my weight's on the shoulder. Okay? At the same time I did that, I did this. Right there. Okay? You can't really come up as good now. And now I'm just pushing basically, and this will seem strange to you, but I'm pushing to the hip. Because I know he doesn't have the post here. I'm fairly certain of that anyway. Because I've got that foot in my hand. And I push right to that hip. See how that rolls his hip down? And I'm just very conscious of this arm. Again, if he started coming up, he got up, I'd push him down right away. Just kill the problem before it starts. Okay? Right. I'm sorry.
The moment you transfer your weight
On their back. You're flexible, man. Pretty flexible. I have to get your secrets of youth. I'll get them over on their back, and I'll tuck their foot here and just push them over. I won't even hold the foot anymore, and they can't move their foot. Just because their own weight's holding. So basically, when the leg's tucked all the way up, it's pretty weak. You know, in order to counter it, what he needs to do, and anytime you're countering a bent leg, he's got to kind of change the angle of his hip a little bit. Now he can fight it. See what I'm saying? And that, just for a quick side deal, it's like on a stand-up, when a guy's, that's basically what you're doing. If a guy's picking your foot up here, you change the angle of your hip. See that? And now you can straighten the leg. And that's why, by the way, I'm tucking the foot to the opposite buttocks. I'm bringing the foot here. You can't really do it. Whereas if I took his foot like this, he could possibly do that. See that? Now he's got some power, because basically what he did was this. he kept me from being this kind of technique and made it where all I had was this thing here, and this isn't near as strong as here. If you do this to the man's foot, it makes a huge difference. In other words, the guy picks my foot up here. It's a whole lot different than if I can get my toe down on the mat. And that's kind of what you're doing, just putting your toe on the mat and changing the angle.
Any other ways to get into bars?
At the ankle rack, right? Now you're here, you come right around the arm, and now you push into this hip. Right there. You just run that thing there. Okay? It's the same move. It's the same move, and you wouldn't necessarily have to run them down. You can just come here and break back. There's, I know, a real good Belarusian kid. This is only if the guy's laying flat. Take your hand, basically the same hold we just did. Take your hand, shoulder to shoulder. Okay, but now I don't have the ankle. Okay, now remember when I said I had the ankle, I was pinning this hip? I was pushing this way and pinning the hip. That's the same thing I'm going to do. By the way, I'll footnote this. Gable taught me this one. Yeah, you do a teepee, right? Old Iowa boy, he already knows. Okay, what I'll do is this. I step up on his hip with this knee, and I crash down here with my head. And what I'm just trying to do, it's a balance thing. I'm just doing this to the guy. And once I do that, it doesn't matter where his arm goes. He could have his arm straight over his head. I'm going to pull him over to his back. Okay, so what I'll do is this. I'll be here wrestling, right? I'll just catch right here. See, my head's already shifted. And I grab basically his armpit. Just hook here and cover my hand. Right there. This knee goes to the hip and I push. Right there. Now all I'm going to do is just keep driving and I move my body out right here. Just right there. Okay. It's quick. It works darn well. In fact, I remember there's a little Iranian guy. He actually would come way up high like this and lock and then he'd just walk it. I didn't like that as well, but he seemed to have some success with it. I like trapping the hip. And the counter to this, by the way, is real simple. You just bring this knee up. Now, I can't trap the hip anymore. And when I drive, all I do is bring him up to his base. See that? That's the counter. Real easy. But it's kind of like chess. If you don't know that, and I get this far and you don't bring your knee up, it's curtains for the free world, you know? Okay? Now let me show you a couple more little things about this type of position here. Bar. Now, what I'll do here, generally, is I'll cast the guy away from me and just keep this arm. Now, a lot of times the man's going to roll into you. You just need to know, I'm going to show you a couple little things. A, again, see how low I went? This is important. I'm on my elbow. I'm not on my side. If he gets his hips out and starts turning now, he'll probably beat me. Okay? If he gets his hips out and starts turning now, he probably will get in trouble. Okay? And that's just because of the height of my body. That's just because I'm up on my elbow and I have height. Okay, so I'll go here, bar. Boom. Now you see how I kind of rolled into that? I just kind of rocked into it. Just here, boom. That's how I caught it. Was here, whack, right there. It either works or doesn't. Okay, now I got him caught. I'm here. I'm on my elbow. If he turns into me, I can just step over, keep that arm hooked tight. Right there and hook with my heels. Okay? Or, here's another situation. You come here and the guy starts spinning on you. Now, this is actually a really good hold for me. But if he gets his elbow here, he'll reverse me. So what I do whenever a guy's spinning, I used to be a good arm throw man. Whenever a guy's spinning, I just use my other arm and catch his arm so he can't come out and push. Okay? Just push right there. Okay, so you're here, you got a bar, the guy sits up, catch this arm right here. Now just push forward, and it's really a tight hold actually, especially if it gets caught across his chest. You can control a guy with just this. Just this. Now if it's serious business, it's not just screwing around in the room, I like to just keep guys here for a long time. It makes me. Okay. is I'm just looking to be able to get this hand over the top of his face and around his neck here. So if it's serious business, I'm going to shoot my hand here. See how I turned his head? I just shoot my hand here, boom. And I get off his hips as quick as I can. Don't catch. Okay, now he starts spinning on it. I catch right here. If I stay here, you can throw a leg. It's any man's game, probably his. Okay? So right away, on any kind of arm throw or headlock situation, get your feet away. Get your feet away. And again, it's almost the exact same. It's really the same principle now as you did with the ankle, except you're using your leg instead of an ankle to pull his hips over. Okay? Same move, really. So I'm here, I got a leg in. Okay, then it helps to have a high leg. See how high I am on him? If I'm way down here and he posts his arm out to stop the turn, I can't get as good a grip as I can up here. Now I'm equal with Joe's head. That's really where I want to be with legs. I want to be just equal to him. I don't want to be way up here above his head, except for maybe one technique. Okay, I want to be right here. Now, all I have to do now is I'll loop my arm. Again, I'm just trying to touch myself right here. Okay? Now I'll rock my hip over, and I got his arm trapped. I really don't have to go any further than this. Now I've got the arm trapped. I'm on my elbow. See this? I'm not here. I'm up on my elbow. I'll just push forward. Go right back to this hip tilt situation we first started talking about. Okay, now that's legs to a bar to a hip tilt. Okay, you can finish it again with the guillotine or with the coming out, bringing your legs out and going to a fall. Okay, now this is where I really like to get it from, where a guy's flat on the mat, right here, and he's posting. A lot of times, I mean, it's real natural. The guy starts feeling you cranking. If you know how to do a Turk, believe me, they'll react. Because you're about to come up here and go wham, and rip his head. They don't like that. So they tend to really post down hard right there. See that? Now see how my knee's outside? This is a side note on leg riding. If I let my knee come under me and he does this, I just lost all my power. Okay, now what I do is I figure forward. I learned this from Mike Sheets after he convinced me that he was affecting the legs. See my toe on the mat? Right out here? Right over there? That's where my weight is. It's on my toe. My knee turns out. He can turn down now as hard as he wants. He's going nowhere. Okay, I'm real tight right through the crotch. Now all I'm going to do is this. Hook, give a little roll. Okay, now if I stay up high, like my other bar, I don't have power. Okay? What I want to do is I want to be back on his hips once I get the bar. And I'll show you how I do that. Right now, actually, I can defeat this pretty easy, but what I have to do is I have to drive forward. I got to drive him forward. Okay, so I'm here, I bar. Now right here, I want him forward. I want him forward right there. See that? This arm comes around his waist, and I come up. Now I've got a heck of a hold. Again, even though I have the leg, if he really is turned down hard, here, I can slip my shoulder. Okay, and I can use this to get a lot of power this way, or I can use it to catch the wrist. If I catch the wrist, I take the leg out. Okay, if I catch the wrist, if I get this deep bar and catch the wrist, actually there's no reason to. Only take the leg out if I'm going to the other side. But you could. It doesn't matter. I mean, once you got that hold, here you got it pretty well balanced out. Okay? Yeah. So, leg, hook, pull. See the toe turn out? That's key. Now all I'm going to do is hop. See me? I can hop right here. Sorry. No problem. I can hop right here. Okay, once I've feel like I'm strong enough to do it, I don't have to go any further than this. I'll just lock my hands. Right here. Bring it back. Now I got the bar. Boom. Right there. See what I did when he turned into me? See what I did? He started rolling into me. I just pulled that arm up and covered him right here. Boom. Knows that he'd have won nationals easy. It wouldn't have been a chess match. With McAreeby would have spent the rest of the period probably on his back. He lost an additional 3-point near fall, which would have given Thomas about 8.3 variety time. Basically, what I'm going to start with is just talk about splitting legs and elevating low leg. Okay, Avis hit a shot. Okay, he hit a shot and had McAreeby just like this. Okay, McAreeby got his knee through, turned to his belly, and that was a takedown for Avis. Okay, now, anytime I can, anytime I've got a man's legs separated and I split his legs, I've got a real good chance. As long as I don't let either leg through, he's never off the hook. Even if he goes all the way to his belly, he's not off the hook. What I have to do is just keep working up inside his legs. You should have kept the legs here and split them. Okay, now this is extreme. The situation I'm talking about, Joe's got a good chance to get out. Okay, but this will illustrate what I'm talking about. I'm just going to try and split the legs. He turns belly down. I got the legs split. See that? Now I'm going to keep working up. Keep working up. I'm elevating the low leg. And Joe's going to have a hard time getting out. He really is. And again, on pinning, I don't want to have to compensate for him going flip, flop, flip, flop. I just want to get him down on the shoulder again. Okay, just like the bar, just like the hip tip. If I'm here, I'm just going to try and push him down onto his shoulder. And I'm just going to grab him. Now there's not much motion. Joe can turn, but not much. See? And now when we talk about pinning, from this position, there's any number of things you can do to pin. It just depends on what the kid likes. I like to try and step. You know, I like to come here, reach through and lock my hands. See the arms included. Make sure to note that. I didn't choose this time. Okay? And I just walk that leg up, but not so far that I might lose my balance. Okay? Just walk it up just far enough to try and get that pin. If he kicks a little bit, that's okay. Nothing. You can't really do much because he's got him all crossed up. Okay? And I'm going to talk about this for a while, basically because I think it falls under the heading of legs, and I just think it's real important. Okay? And it's there all the time. Okay? Here's a double leg. A lot of guys use double legs and knock the kid down. They get the kid here, or the guy or whatever, and then they let him turn to their belly. There's no reason to let him turn to their belly unless there's no time left and you need to take down like today. Then you just jump on top. But if the match, you got 30 seconds, and you hit a guy here, which is his low leg, it's his bottom leg, and I can trap it easily by using a little pressure from my legs, pulling with my bottom arm, and pushing with my shoulder, right here. Boom. Okay, now he can go belly down. See how I'm pushing? Now all I'm going to do is this. I'm just going to split his legs, right here. See that? Sometimes I'll just step up that inside leg here, and now I'm into it. Okay, and it's simpler. It's basically the same thing as the step-through turn, but it's simple, which to me is better in a lot of ways. Okay, so here, I cut the guy down, boom, drive. Now see what I'm doing here? I'm just trying to get inside his leg. And this is the technique I was saying I thought Abish really made it kill him. Okay, now if he turned away from me, I hit it, boom. Okay, now, right here, watch. I'm going to put straight pressure. I'm just trying to turn his hips on all leg stuff. I'm putting straight pressure into his top hip with my shoulder. I'm pulling that bottom leg. I'm trying to roll it, see? Right there. I'm trying to roll. So here, step up. Right there. Now it's different if he's sitting straight up on you. Like a kid here. Maybe he's grabbing around your waist. I'll do the same thing. I'll bring my knees inside, okay, right here. I got my hands for braces. If he's holding on to me, I don't have to hold him as hard. You can grab me around the waist like guys do, yeah. I'm going to square my hips, and by the way, if you're here, like this, a guy can beat you with a grip around the waist. Okay, so you use your feet, you run in a circle, square your hips, and come up. Okay, now I'll sneak my little knees inside, here, drive forward, take my hands out, and I'm going to try and actually do this to the guy. I'll back out and lift my shoulder up. See that? That's key. Okay, that's key. You're here, You get his legs split. Now your arms are free. Back up. See that? Now he's beat. Body lock, and he's going to his back. That's a small thing, but it's a big thing. Okay, you back up and get your head out. And that's true in a lot of situations. Say you're here, your head's trapped in the middle. Like this. Okay, he's going to beat me here, I promise you. My best chance is right when I hit and he grabs me, back up and get my head up. Now he's not going to beat me anymore. If I let him suck my hips in, it's one of those situations where it just has to be a reaction. It's one thing like John Smith's really good at, is that he knows how not only to drive in, but how to back out and when to do it. The guy's trying to trap his head under, and this is a bit of a tangent, but I think it's worthwhile. Say a low single situation here. If you wait till you're here, man's gonna beat you. Okay, so you hit, and the guy falls, you back up. You just back up right here. He's not gonna beat you because you can't tuck your head. Okay, same thing here. Back to the subject matter. Okay, you're here, drive to his feet, run to his feet, hit it flat. Split his legs, back up, get you. See how my shoulder came up just a bit. But it makes all the difference in the world. Now you attack him right here. Okay? Does that make sense? A little bit. Yeah. That type of philosophy. The plus is you're not really going to get hip heist. The minus is you can't really use these type of techniques if you never go to your hip. Okay? Now what he was telling me was his boys would come here and they'd go to do, say, a tight waist hip chop, and they'd end up on their hip and the other guy wouldn't. Okay? The biggest cause of this is that you're trying to do it right from here. Okay? You want to come back and get a real tight grip here. Okay, this is actually what's turning his hips. It's this arm coming real tight here, driving with my legs right here. Okay, now you can go to your hip. Again, I don't want to be on my shoulder too much, but you go to your hip as long as this man's hips are with him. And this is true in freestyle and anything I know. If I'm gut wrenching, say, I do the exact same thing. I gut wrench it's right here. See that? See his hips go with me? Boom. When guys get in trouble, they'll try and break the guy's position by giving position. They'll give position to get position. They'll come here. Now they'll try and throw, and they'll get stepped over. Okay, but as long as his hips are with me, and this just makes sense from common, sense perspective, really nothing real bad's going to happen to me as long as I just stay here, unless I pin myself. All right? So, again, just keep your hips with the man. Two, they bar, and two things were happening. Okay, one, if I got a bar and the guy's arm stuck out here like this, okay, I'm not ready to take it yet. You could do something as simple as just cover his knuckles and bring his arm back. You don't want this arm getting caught here. One, it could hurt the guy, which is morally wrong. It would make me sad. Okay? So I either want to pop it out this way, or bring it back this way, or I'll just drive him over to his shoulder. That's my favorite of the three. Okay, his arm's out. Rather than just trying to crank him over it, like if he's caught here, I'll just keep pushing. Now I can do it arm deep. Okay? Arm comes deep here. Now, here's the problem. One, the arm wasn't getting deep. More importantly, once you get the guy this far, your pressure's all right here. Okay? It's all right here. Boom. And forward. Now, the guy was saying that the guy's having a problem now because the guys are coming up, the other guys are coming the other way, Joe, up to their knees. Like this. Okay? Yeah, keep coming. And then he's like that kind of thing, right? All right. That, right? Now, okay, so it's really, here's what has to happen for this guy to be able to do that. A, he's got to be flexible. B, I got to take pressure off here. Okay, now it's a little bit different arm here and arm here. But even arm here, if I keep pressure here, even if he comes up to his knees, he shouldn't, I don't want his shoulders to turn, and I'll just bring him over. And I've done this to people. Okay? If you let him get to his knees and his elbow comes out, he'll reverse it. Okay? So the way you defeat this is you come here and you keep pressure here. And you throw your arm deep. All my weight's on him right now. That and my toes. Now even if he comes up here, even if he's able to come up, now see this? And I want to show you this. Because this is special for that type of situation. See where his head was? Here. I put my knee right there. Crank his head over. And if he comes here, I'll go right here like this with my knee. Crank him open and jump on. And that's a special little deal for that type of situation. I very seldom have it happen to me that he comes here. See that? Now look. Watch this. In order for him to do the reversal, his head's got to move. See now? Go ahead and see how his head came across? Now watch. Even if I don't take it back, see that knee? Now watch. Go ahead. He can't move. And now just take it back over. So that's the technique I use on it. Again, that ain't going to help you if your arm's not deep and you don't have pressure here. If I'm here like this, I could even end up on my back. Okay? But with flexible kids, flexible people, and Joe gets a real good grip around my waist and gets me here. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to get flipped by Joe. That's probably what I'm going to do. Okay? So the trick is this, and this is true for pretty much all body lock type stuff. You just do this. You go low and go back. Right here until you get your head up, and then you can come back into it. If you've got, and it's body position, you notice my body, if he does this to my body, he's going to win. I do the opposite. I'm here. Okay? Because to do that type of stuff, what he's got to do is he's got to lift me here. He's got to take me over my head. So I'm doing the opposite. Okay? So if I'm here, and I hit a double, and he's around my waist, the first thing I'm going to do, I might not even grab him. I might just push back. Okay? See how low I am here? Now I'm going to work in, here, right there. If he loads me up, I may take the ride. Is that what you're asking? Like when a guy's body locking, just by sinking back and holding the man's position, and that's key. If you just sink back and the man travels with you, nothing's really happening. Like when I'm coming to create distance, I actually want to hold him away from me. I don't want him to be able to follow. So, for example, this is a normal situation. High crotch, the guy goes to his hip and he locks. Okay, now right now he's got my weight forward. It's going to be really hard for me to get my weight back. Okay, you can do it though. And the way you do it is by sinking your weight really low. See how low my hips are? Now I walk back. That stuff tastes terrible. Now the guy goes through your crotch or around your waist, either one. Okay, go ahead and go through my crotch if you would. You're here, right? Now again, keep your hips low, keep them on the mat. If you let your hips get up here, you can get rolled. Slimy, rotten Turk did that to me in the woods. Okay? I apologize. Okay, now I'm going to show you a basic way to change this position. Okay, here, you're going to reach under and grab this hand, then you're going to arm through right here. Okay, that's basic. It's just a basic. I like to do it with a step through curve. Okay, I like to do it here. I'll just show you the simplest one first. You're here. Again, run your feet to his, catch low leg, arm through. My arm comes between his leg and my chest and this arm. It shoots to the roof and down. Now he's in trouble because I've got his legs split. See, this arm's the only thing splitting, but I can control both sides. Now, either way Joe goes, he's caught. Okay, I'll just back up right here. I'm going to keep squaring my hips. I'll be looking for a cradle and the Navy ride. Okay, now this is a Navy ride. Okay, Navy ride right here. Now again, now this is going to seem like a tangent, but it's such a popular situation in high school. I always show this. All right, you see guys here like this trying to lift. They'll even have a wrist. Anybody ever seen this? They have a wrist. The guy's pulling down hard and he's cut like this. can. You guys are going to like this. It works real well. All you do is this. You high arm over, and you look at his feet. Okay, go ahead and turn belly down. High arm over, look at his feet. Turn your back to the man and walk. Right there. Okay? Now you can sit here. Watch your face, though. Because it tends, usually the guy's trying to hit. So I keep my head low. And just hang out for a while. And I'm looking to pin it. Basically, and it works real well. You don't get a whole lot of flop. Especially, it kills the flop. I see this all the time where a guy will pick the guy up, and the guy will be doing this here and there. What I look for is for the guy to turn away from me, and I'll do this. Right there. See, I got his hip up on my arm. I've got this leg up on this one. I've got his leg split. He goes nowhere. He's caught. He's done. And it's so simple. So I always like to show that. And it's a way, guys are here trying to lift. Rather than lift here, put your weight over and run your feet back. The only trouble I ever see guys get into is they don't really feel that the guy's going. When they feel the guy start to go and they get so happy about it, they just keep driving like a madman and pull the guy all the way on top of them. Okay? Again, this is a pinning combination. They need to understand that once they're here, speed is not to my benefit anymore. I want things nice and slow. I'm a calm guy. I'm just going to come over here and get this hip and settle in on it right here. Right here. Either way Joe goes, he's in trouble. Now, the bad thing is you can't really pin a guy with this. Okay, I'll show you how to pin a guy with this. Guy turns this way. You're holding position. You come up with your chest. Okay, and if he starts wriggling out, I'll grab him again. Okay, turn away. Come up with your chest. Reverse Nelson. Okay? Or he turns the other way. And the other way. Okay, like this. Now watch this. This is a little change up. I'll come from here to here. Go for a cradle or a half. Either one. And again, I'm holding him tight. I've got something on both sides. If he turns this way, I'm pulling here. If he turns the other way, I'm lifting here. See, and he can't really go anywhere. Now I'll just settle in slow. Okay? So, we're getting into it though. Kind of sneakily. Trouble. He's here. Split his bottom leg. Get it to your chest before you let go. If you're here and you let go, you might lose it. Get it to your chest, arm through. Walk this leg under. See that? His legs are split. By now you're jumping up and down, going, give my kid a takedown, you idiot. Now watch this. Slip your hips down. He's going to be grabbing you. Well, lift this leg and slip your hips down. Right there. Okay? Now the guy's almost pinned and you still haven't gotten a takedown. And welcome to collegiate wrestling. Okay. And this is why I like to use my leg in there rather than just my arm. And that's the next thing I'm going to do. I'm here. Now, you can do this if you want. You don't have to. You hook this leg right down here by the heel, just like this. Here. Now, see I'm up on I'm not sitting on my hip. All my weight's on my bottom leg here. My arms shoot through. I split his legs. I crawl up, belly down. You can still be through my crotch. And I think it might have been even like semifinals of the NCAA tournament. I had a guy who was still through my crotch, and you know, he's like, I was like, get a clue, let go. Too late. And the guy comes all the way through on me. Go ahead and like, not grab me, but like turn there. Yeah. This is the low leg now. You got to elevate this, or you're going to just get a takedown. Okay? You got to elevate that low leg, or you'll only end up with a takedown. Okay? Actually, it can be worse than that. Because I see guys all the time get double legs, and they'll drive so hard they'll end up with their weight over there, and the guy will hip hop. Okay? Again, any double leg situation, I want to freeze his hip on the opposite side of my head zone. Don't need to rush it. All you got to do is freeze that hip. And you can do that as hard as you want. Okay? Now you're not going to get in trouble. And then the only way you will is if you continue to drive until this other hip's the low hip. And now he's got a chance to hip hop. Does that make sense? Now I'm happy. If I do go a little too far, When he gets here, I want to catch here, move up. He can be all the way down here on the ankles. Lift him, lift him. As long as he doesn't get either leg through, his legs are split, even if he's all the way on his belly. This is good for, no, I won't. I just hook, come through. Again, this is the hard part to get. Guys are here, and they can't get their arm out. Okay, and this is the hard part on this move. Put your weight on this toe, or you want to just slide your arm right through your belly. Okay, let me show them without it. Like, this is things to tell you. You got to keep this leg hooked tight, or you can slip it out. I bend my leg like this to keep it hooked. Okay. Now all I'll do is I'll take the arm that's on the double side, I'll bring it to my chest and sneak it through. And it feels kind of funny because now you got both your arms open. The inside leg splits the arm, and now I'm moving up towards his head. Moving up his hips, just like I just did with the low ankle deal. Moving up his hips. So I'm here. I'll do one for my knees. Again, here I hook. Now the guy's grabbing on me. He feels pretty good right here. I'm going to create space by doing this. See that? My arm comes through. Boom. And it happens that fast. And once that transition's made, he's in the bad stuff. Up to about his neck. Okay? And that Turk works all the way through here. It's the same way. You can take a guy and have his feet split right here, and I've done this. He can be all the way on his belly. And all I got's this. Right here. His legs are split, by the way. It's just low. He doesn't know. You just take that foot and bend it. See that? Twist it down. Oh, now I got him. Don't realize, look, here's an ankle ride, right? This is a regular, you got the ankle. Now I got the leg hooked. It doesn't feel like anything, but when I do this, now watch what I do. I twist the foot this way, which is probably questionable, which makes me happy. And I post it on the mat. Now, it's no longer a secret anymore, but it's late. Okay, so I'm here wrestling, I hook the leg, boom. That's a small point, that's a special bonus for coming to the clinic to know to do this, because most guys don't know. To do that, post the heel. Post the heel, right? Okay? Okay, now, let's talk about getting the Turk from a single leg position. Okay, splitting the legs from a single. Here, boom. Now how often does this happen? Okay, I mean, I don't know, it's one of the more high school popularized moves is a head inside double. Which ain't all that bad a move if you know what you're doing. You let go of the top leg because it's just going to get in your way. And you attack the bottom leg. Or you pop the top leg off and make it head outside. So one thing your kids can do, they land here like this, they need to know this. Push on the knee. Now they got a double. Don't hold it. Don't hold the top leg. You hold the top leg, all you're doing is holding your head down. Okay? You land here like this. Secure the bottom leg, drive, back out, you got a double. Or you can do this. I like this because it's just sneaky. I'll come here and I'll hook that foot just like this. Now he still doesn't really think anything bad's going to happen to him. And if I can, I'll catch his other foot right here. Okay, now my arm comes through. See that? This is my arm now. It's holding this bottom single leg. I'm up on my base. This arm comes through. And now my head's going to sneak around his shin. Because a lot of times the guy's trying to hold your head down. My head sneaks around his shin. Now I'm back to the same position. Sometimes it doesn't have to go around the shin. I'll just back up. But once I get here, a lot of times guys will be holding on pretty good. I'll just come here and back out just like that. And now, how's he going to get away? There's a couple of ways he can get away. One is he can let go. He can turn belly down and get his leg through. That's a good idea for him at this point. That's good coaching. Better yet for him, and this is something that everyone should know, this is the biggest danger of a step-through Turk, is he can let go, post his hands, and like swivel his hips that way. Okay, now that doesn't look too bad from where I was. But if I'm here, and it's like the double leg I was telling you not to overdrive, if I'm here and he puts his hands on the mat behind him, now he's got me in a step-through Turk. Okay? By the way, a line and a step-through Turk are the same moves, just twisted. Okay, so here's the Turk, right? You go, ah, and the guy spins into you. You let him pass under you. This is a step-through Turk. Right? You got a step-through Turk, the guy rolls away from you. That's a regular Turk. Okay? So they're really kind of the same moves. Okay? So you're here. Where was I? Off the tangent. Okay. I'm back to a step-through Turk. Here. Let me talk about some things in here after we finish this. Okay? You're up, split the leg, come to the head, and rock him down. Now let's talk about rocking the man down. Okay, there's basically three situations. One, he's laying down and turn belly down. Before, I'll say. You gotta lay your belly into him. That keeps this leg from coming through. Elevate here, pitch here, and drive. Okay, now I just cover the head and I try and get chest to chest, like any pinning combination. Right here, and I drive it over. Okay? What you'd like to pin the fella is you'd like this arm trapped on this side, to be around his head here, and to be elevating here. Because he can't turn this way now because of this arm. See what I'm saying? If he was here, he might be able to pull something off. It's going to be tricky, but he could. But as long as he's here, and I got this arm here, and this leg here, I got two different, either way it goes, I got it. Okay? Now that's the ideal. That's what I'd like, is when I come through and split the man here, that he turn belly down. That's what I would like. That's the best for me. Okay? Key, this knee goes in front of his leg. Right here. And this is how you slide up with the Turk, too. If I don't put this knee in front of his leg, he can slide this bottom leg forward. There you go. See that? He'll slide the bottom leg forward. Okay? So I'm hooked here. One of the first things I do is this. This leg comes up. Now he can't slide this leg forward. Now I can move my leg up from his ankle to his knee. Now I'm in good shape. Okay? So those are some keys on this. Again, you don't really need to use it, the leg, except on this single leg situation. It's very helpful. You can just use the bottom arm to split his legs. If he does roll away from me with a step-through Turk, I'll use a Navy rod. If I'm here like this and he rolls away, see that? If he rolls into me on the Navy, I can go right back to a step-through Turk. They all work together. And if you don't like any of that kind of thing, you know, you can just come back here and split the legs. I got a lot of miles out of that when I was younger. This front end down. So what I'm going to do when he sits up is I'm going to push into him. I'm going to reach up, and he doesn't have a post here. I'm just going to reach back with a hook hand and wing him down. Now, once he's winged it, well, what would be the past tense of wing? Once he's winged down. Here. Right away, my hand's going to come looking for the idea. This is the idea. I'm on this side of the arm, I'm on this side of the head. Okay, so right after I wang him, I'm going to whip that arm over his head. He sits up, push in, reach up, look away, wang him, boom. Now I'm coming parallel. See that? Right away coming parallel to pin. Okay, now, this is the last scenario. He sits up, and this is the most dangerous, by the way, and he gets both hands over on your backside. Oh, there. Yeah. See how much he can turn his hips now? Much more powerful. And he sits up, he puts his hand all the way over now, right there. He has two posts or one. But he's got a post where I want to wang him, right? So what I have to do is I got to wang that arm. And I'll just come here again. If a guy's doing this to me, I'm not only pushing into him, I'm pushing this way. I'm coming this way. Okay, because I know what's around the corner for me if I go this way. Okay? This is kind of like having a guy's little king pinned with a queen and having a bunch of other pieces around. And if I screw it up, We just changed the board around, you know? It's ugly. So he comes up, he sits up, I'm pushing back. See that? Pushing back, I hook this arm. He sits up, boom, right there. Now this is a great pinning combo. You just come right here for your half. Okay? But it's key to know. It's key to know. That arm comes over your back and all the way to the mat, catch it and push back. Right there. Okay? And that's true in a lot of different situations. I've seen it happen even here with the, it happened to a wrestler of mine at Nationals. He was here with a Navy, and the guy caught his arms, went and sit up high up, and did this. Okay? The man creates elevation for his upper body. The only thing I'm really concentrating on doing is breaking that elevation. Okay? Now I'll do the exact same thing I just did with a step through turf with a Navy. If I'm here and the man brings his hands here, back behind him. I know now he has some power to turn this way. Right away, all I'm doing is I'm moving backwards. I'm moving backwards because he's going to try and take me forward. I'm moving backwards. I'm elevating up and going into his arms just to break him down flat. So if I'm here, he turns away. Right away, I'm pushing back. See that? Moving back into him, busting everything flat. Now the guy's pissed. Okay. Now, any questions on any of that? The thing to me is, hey, bring your hips away from your man so you can't control it. Okay. Either one of two things. Either you're going to hit here or right away back out and make it a double, which is a real solid thing. And then I'm going to drive my hips here. Okay? Or, okay. So I'm either going to pop it off and drive my hips around and do the stuff we've been working on, or I'm going to come underneath and control the bottom leg and bring my hips around and do the stuff. Okay, so I'm either going to come here and double and run my hips, or I'm going to come here under and run my hips all the way up to here, all the way to where my hips are up. Now, there's a number of things that can happen in here. The one I'd like to happen is have him hold on to me and let me get my head around his shin here. Okay, now this is his best chance right now. You notice once my head's up, I'm moving forward, I'm splitting his legs. This knee's coming up, I move my knee up. Oh yeah. I'm here, right? The best counter to this should always show the counter. If you take your hand, you push on my thigh so I can't get this knee. Okay, this is the deal, right? I said I want to get my knee in front of his so I can move my leg up. Once I'm here, it's real bad for him, right? So I'm here, he pushes on this knee right now, I can't move it up. Okay? I can't move it up and improve my position. He might be able to come down, and he might be able to slide this bottom knee out. Okay, now I'm kind of cheating him. Most guys won't do what I'm doing. I feel what he's doing, I'm just doing this, extending it real low. So he can't. He's still going to make it real hard to do a turn. Now I'm going to show you something about laws on this. He'll come here, and they'll start to hook, and if the guy goes to block his knee, comes right to the bar. See, a lot of guys there. I like to tie things together. Make it look like you know what we're doing. Okay? Now you're here. I really like this hook, and I really like being flat. And you can come out with a turn. I've even seen it where a guy, actually I've done it, where a guy had his legs so far over that you just end up coming up here. Just creating height and coming belly down. Okay, that's all with that leg hook. That's pretty much it. This problem, my favorite's finish to a low single because it'll pin the guy. Again, if I let his head, my head get trapped under, it's real bad for me. He'll counter me. So what I'll do is this. If I knock a guy down, I'll walk in a circle and get my head up. Right here. And now what I'll do is this. I'll drive my head to his balls. But now I have women's wrestlers, so we'll say to the crotch here. Okay? Just to be politically correct, to the person's crotch area. Okay? And I'm going to post his foot. Okay? I'm not going to really straighten his foot. That's hard to do. Just take your arm and straighten the guy's leg. All I'm going to do is just post his foot and drive my head to the person's crotch area. Okay? And what that's going to do is, it's going to extend them. See that? Now I got the hook. Now I got my arm through. Now I got the turn. That's key. Now, as a side note, probably one of the best ways to finish a low single is just a back door right away. You know, you lock it out. I generally don't even go under this way. I generally, when I hit a low single, come here, it's right here. And just bring it across here to do some other stuff, right? But occasionally, a guy will twist around and he'll end up here with me. See how I walk in a circle? I walk in a circle, and I want my head out. Now I extend it forward, I hook, and I'm happy. Okay? Now, he's around my waist, what do I do? Way. Right? He comes up to both hands, back up into him, cut it up. Okay? He goes flat, block with the knee, slide your leg up, elevate the leg. Okay? If I'm high crotch. This happens sometimes. You be high crotch, and the guy will come through, whatever, and you'll end up. I wasn't actually talking about this. I'm talking about this. Here, I'm just talking about using the inside arm to catch. Okay, now here, look, you don't even really need to do a Turk or anything. You can just split his leg and go back to that side. In fact, that'll be the last thing I show you. Was one of my best answers to this situation where a guy's sitting on his hip. Right, and I used it actually. Here, I blocked right on his ankle with my knee. Okay, now he's holding himself up here. He's trying to get out. All I'm doing now is I push my weight back with both hands. See that? I hip over, catch his laces, or the bottom gummy part of the shoe actually. Pop it up and go belly down. Now I'm in good shape. And it happens pretty quick. All I'm doing is I just go low, pop the foot outside and come back up. So here, he didn't even have his foot tucked. I'll just come right here, boom. See how I walked? What this did is it pushed his weight over to his other hip. Here, pop it up. And now I'm trying to get this arm through. If it's real hard for me, I'll try and back out a little bit. Get it through. Okay, and this little side note on splitting legs. Guy doesn't sit out on you. Pull in his waist, do an ankle kick right here. Right there. You can only do this if his hips are into you. If he starts getting his hips away, don't bother. You got to do something else. You can pull his hips to you. What you do, it's a surprise deal. I just look at his feet and see if I can get to one. And I pull hard here, and I shoot my body up over the top and do a spin drill. A little high school spin drill. Right there. So now I'm just trying to catch his legs and drive. Okay. He turns, gets one out. Here, and step through turn, the whole business. Thanks, guys. And I got to keep moving my feet to keep going. In other words, okay, now my weight's here. I can go pretty fast this way. And there are techniques where you do this, like a butt drag, where you want to keep your weight on your feet so you can keep pressure into the man. See that? That's a different type of hold. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to try and go right away. And I'll do it like this. If you teach a spin drill at all, I encourage you to do it this way. Here. Now, it'd be hard for me to spin. It's easy for me to spin, though, if I do this to the guy. Now, be a little strong. I'm going to hit you a little bit. I'm going to push here. See my feet come up? I'm pushing my weight by driving into him onto the man. Now, my feet will... I basically take all my weight off my feet. Okay? Now, I'll take a little outside step, and I'll do the same thing, and drive. Okay, and that allows me to go from here, okay, like with a front headlock situation, I want to spin, I'll throw my head high and push. See? I push my weight onto the guy. I feel sorry for you guys. You're going to be sitting on a long time. Everybody's got to go. Alright. So I push my weight onto the guy. The arm on the head would come off, if it can. I'd spin, and I'd jam right here, under the arm. And the beauty of that is, on a spin drill, teaching a kid to do this, here, is all I have to do is get this far behind me. There's pressure down on his arm right here.
this far and I get his hip, lift your arm up. No, like you can stop me. He can't, he probably could. It's a lot harder. I only have to get this far and I can finish my spin. And the Brands kids who are now famous, they'll just beat the guy down like this and jam their hand right here. Really, the takedown's pretty much over. Okay? So that's how I teach a spin drill. Here, push your weight onto the guy, shove him by with this hand, jam with this one. Right there, and right there. Okay? The other beauty of doing that, of jamming into the guy, is you're putting all your weight on him. Okay? If my weight isn't on my feet, it's got to be somewhere. It's on him. And what guys do is they'll get here, and now to spin behind, and anyone that's coached any amount of time has seen this. To spin behind, they'll do this. They'll step, they'll take all their weight off the guy and spin, and the guy will bring his arm up. Right there. You'll even see guys jump into leg attacks and lose takedowns. They come here, they take all their weight off and spin. Okay? We want to do the opposite. We want to be jamming down hard and across with this arm, just as if you were standing on his feet and we were doing a slide. Right? Come on up. Or a drag. Arm drag from the knees, same sort of thing. Just like we're doing this. That's the kind of pressure I want. Down and across. Down and across. Okay? It's the same thing except he's on his knees. He's on his knees in front of me. I want pressure down and across. Here. Or if you're doing an arm drag, I want pressure down and across right here. Okay? Okay, now, it's an easy transition then to think about a front headlock spin behind. You're just here, you got your hands locked, his head's trapped in the middle of your chest, your arms are short. Now this does several things. It stops the duck and it stops the drag. If the guy can't duck you and he can't drag you, that doesn't leave him much. Okay? Here. Now all I'm going to do is this. I'm going to crank down on that arm. See how my hand, they're so shallow. My elbows are so high, I can use my elbow to crank down on his arm right here. See that? Now I'm going to drive off this and do a simple spin drill. I throw his head to the side. I'm driving into him. I release, and I'm spinning. And that's pretty much my front headlock spin. It's right here. Or we'll do the same thing, but we'll do it a little bit different. Now that you've got the background info, they're all kind of the same. We're going to take it. We're going to crank down on the arm. Now he's going to grab my elbow for you. Not that hand. You're going to help. No, not that arm. Try right hand on my right hand on an elbow. Oh. Okay, right here. See how he's trying to pull my arm down? Now look at this. If my arm is like this, he can pull it down. Okay? If my arm is here, he can't pull it down because his neck's in the way. His neck's the problem. If he can take his neck off, then he can pull it down because it wouldn't be in the way. But he's stuck with that problem, so I leave it right here. I do that by putting my shoulder in the middle of the back here. Crank down and start spinning. Now see what I'm doing to him? I'm crossing him up. I'm crossing him up there. I'm cranking down on his arm. Basically just posting it on the mat. Put your hand on the mat. And now I'm walking him across, across, across. Boom. His head hits the mat, I spin. Spin behind. So he grabs, I'm here, I crank. I'm on my toes. Now watch, it's really hard to spin from here, so I push all my weight into him and spin. Now, I like what he did. You see how he still kept my elbow? Okay, it's funny here, he kept my elbow. You do not. If the guy's got your arm, you don't want both arms on the same side of the man. You don't want to be here particularly, or here, because he can spin this way. Come in with me. Keep coming. I got nothing to hold him. Okay? So if he's got my arm, and I spin, here, I won't even come any further behind than this. I'd like to catch an inside ankle here, or his leg. Okay? Or whatever. If you catch both of them, sorry. If you catch his leg, it makes it harder for him to fight it because it's uncomfortable. That grip on the leg hurts.
Okay? Now you're going to drive with my chest. I drive with my chest. And to free my arm, generally, on all stuff, 2-on-1, whatever. Hey, Brady. I use a jerking motion. I don't pull out real slow because he's able to predict the force. Okay, so I go to spin. He catches me. I use my chest. I drive into him. Lift up on whatever you have, whether that's an ankle or his leg. Lift up, drive in with your chest, and jerk your arm. Okay, and that just needs to be reaction. If I spun and he's got me, I'm not going to come here. I'll come right back here and attack. Near ankle's fine on this because you're going to bust him down. I mean far ankle. Far ankle's a little bit different than the waist. A lot different than the waist. And all your spin behind stuff, you really don't want to come to a deep waist. You just want to be at the tip. Okay, so that's kind of some front headlock stuff. I'll show you a little bit other. You guys got your arm deep. Okay, and this is a practical situation to look at because this happens all the time. Okay, I basically have about 3 options. I can either pull my arm out, I can shuck him, or knee tap. That's pretty much the ones I know. Okay, there are probably others. Now, pull your arm out. What you do is I'll jam the guy. If I can't get my arm out, I'll surprise him by jamming him with my chest. I try and set his weight back. Sometimes he'll even fall over, amazing as it seems. Now he catches his weight. I'm going to come away from him. I fall back and I jerk. Here, and I try and get my arm shallow. So I'm here, I'll come here, jam, boom, right there. And if he holds on real tight, a lot of times I'll bounce his head on the mat. Okay, I'm here, I jam, I'm here, boom. Okay, he keeps a good grip. Okay, if he holds on, I jam him again. Okay, now my arm's shallow, I just do a spin behind here. Spin behind, pull my arm out. If I couldn't pull my arm out, I'd come here, drive, and get it out. Okay, that's 1. 2, I'm trying to get this arm out, and I can't. This guy's got the grip of a gorilla, and I just can't get my arm out. Okay, I'll do the spin behind anyway, like this. He squares up with me. I'm going to do this right here. I'm going to reach through, straight arm, and drive with my chest. Do a knee tap. Okay? Now, that brings up another point, and that is an arm drag. Okay? That's a good counter to a front headlock's an arm drag. He reaches across. Okay? And he does an arm drag. Okay? Now, in order for him to arm drag me, his head's got to fit through this hole. Right here. Okay, so the way I generally counter an arm drag is by keeping this hole closed. Right here. Either here, or in the case of where I let go and do a knee pick, I do it all with this one arm here. I pull the shoulder to my chest. Now he can have as good a grip as he wants on my arm. Go ahead and arm drag. Your other arm drag. Right. Yeah, there you go. Not drag. He's not going to try. There. See his head coming out? Now there's a chance he's going to score. Particularly on the tap, this happens when you tap to take him to his back, because guys naturally want to do this with a tap. Turn their shoulders, okay? You don't want to do that, or you're going to make it possible for him to score. Okay, so you close that off, you tap, and now I don't turn my shoulders at all. In fact, what I do is I raise his upper body and drive. Right there, okay? That's a knee tap. He's got my arm deep. Now, okay, that's fine. Grab with the other arm if you want. Okay, I'm spinning. Okay, I'll spin to set it up, get him to square up, pull this tight, and reach. Right there. Okay? You can do that. Now, the last is a shuck. Before I go any further with a shuck, I want to footnote this for you. Did Timmy do that monkey arm thing yesterday? Off the front headlock where he reaches deep? He did? Alright, remind me. On the shuck, you don't want to shuck if he's got 2 hands. What time is it? 10 after? Sorry. Okay, guy's got 2 hands here. Do not shuck this. Do not do it. I spent some time crying on the mat once because I tried. I came here like this and he went, it hurt. This is a shuck, by the way, when you do this thing here. All right. If he has two hands on your arm, go ahead and do it again, what you just had. Here's what you do. Keep his head in the middle, reach down and peel one. Now he's got no hands on the mat. I'm on my feet. I'll step to spin. I'll stop. I throw my hip in my hand. My hand turns fist down. I hit with a hard elbow. This arm stays low and I attack. Okay, so here, I'm up. Right there. Okay, now you can get a little extra snap on his head by turning your palm down and straightening your arm. And it's real important to stay on your feet. You really can't get much drive at all from your knees. So grab my arm deep. Now this is with two hands, we've already discussed. Now with one hand, to set it up, I'm just going to do a spin behind. Here. Okay, now he's going to not let me. Okay, now I'm going to let him catch up to me. See that? There's already a slight angle created. See? And then I'll just accelerate a little bit. Come here and catch his quick. Right there. Okay, right here. If I was on my knees, I'm not going to be on my knees at the time of the snap. I'll come here. You can even do this to set it up. Grab it. He pulls that hip away. Right there. Notice, when I snap, this hand always comes down. That does a couple things. One, it protects me from having this happen. Okay, now let go of my arm right now. Doing this and being wide open for a leg attack. Okay, that happens sometimes. You come here and the guy will go snap. He didn't bring his arm down and the guy will grab on a bad one. So I always do this. If it didn't work out, we'll at least be wrestling. But generally speaking, if he does hold on for long enough, I'll be behind his arm right here and I'll have a takedown. Okay? From the feet. Okay, so we've kind of gone over a simple spin behind. I'll show you this from a front headlock. You can always just change off to this if you have trouble getting your arm pulled deep. Just hook both armpits right here. And now you look to post one side or the other and do a slide by or a drag to either side. Okay, and you don't get much trouble with that as long as you keep his head right here in the divot of your chest, not down by your stomach. That's the biggest problem people have. So come from here to here. I don't have near as much ability to control it. Here, elbows back. Okay? Now, man's up on his feet. Or coming up. Let's do coming up. We'll work towards our feet, and I promise we'll be done in 5 minutes. Okay, here, guy starts coming up. Front headlock. Either side, you can attack. Especially if he bunches himself like he is. Especially if he bunches himself like he is. He comes up either side, you can attack him right here. Yeah, bring that foot up again. Just hook. See the hook? Not a grab, a hook. I pull and drive with my chest right here. And you can cradle too if he stays balled up. Okay? Come up to your tripod. We'll do the same thing here. If he's close enough that I can hook something with either front headlock or front body lock, now I always hook towards my high crotch side because that's what it'll become if I screw it up. Anyway. So I'll hook right here. See how I drive my chest into the leg right there? I'm driving with my feet. Now what's the worst thing that's going to happen is he'll bring his head up and I'll have a high crotch and go. Okay. Come on up even higher. Of course, you can snap him down. And you can drive him to bring him down. Here. You can go right to an ankle. Here. You can snap him down. Here. All those things. Okay? And comes up to his feet. His hands aren't on the mat. Okay? And that's when you're able to do this type of thing here. Okay? It's hard to really turn a guy when his hands are off the mat. So you're here, front headlock. His hands are coming off the mat. His hands are off the mat. I'm going to take my hand. I let go. I grab right on this armpit and I push sideways. And it's particularly good, this is my counter to the counter. Remember I told you when a guy's peeling your hand, you don't have much time. and I have less. Okay, my hands aren't locked. He starts peeling my hand. If I wait at all, he's going to turn the corner on, 2-on-1, whatever, and my game's over. Okay? He's counting on this piece. Again, it's kind of like chess. He wants this piece. His whole game's pending on it. I take it out of play. Okay, he's not expecting that. Generally, a lot of times they're even lifting up. And I'm here, he's trying to fight me, I let go. And I'm attacking his side right here. And my arm will just do like a big wheel, you know, just go boom, and I'm pushing him by, and I'm coming in for my attack. So I'm here, he's peeling, whack. Right there. That's a slide by. Okay, and I like this one too. You snap, and the guy starts peeling hands, he's fighting you, you just come right here. Now, I like Lego me. You kind of lift up a little, like, here you go. Here's what I'm doing. On this one, I'm looking for his near side ankle. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to throw his head up and away, drop and let go of his head. Right there. Okay, now I'm not a quick guy. So I like his foot close enough and weight on it, hoping that my slow old self can get down there and grab his foot before he can move it. Right there. Now I'm going to throw his head up and away, and I got his legs. Okay? It's not dangerous. And you can learn it fast. I mean, I had guys, I showed them it one day, and they did it to me the same day. It's just a matter of seeing it. You're here, the guy's fighting, wham! You're in on the leg. The worst thing I've had happen to me is the guy sprawled and we had to scramble. I came here and I missed, and he sprawled and we had to scramble. Okay? You can go cross leg attack too for a fall. I'll just show you those real quick. You either come under the head or under the arm. The guy's trying to fight from going down, you come right here. Take it down. With his arms back to his side, you can use just his head. Right there, and take it down. Or you can come to the other side like Vanny. Here. Little monkey arm. And that's just kind of exhibition. I don't really have time and I can't keep you here all day. Doggone. Any questions? On and I'm free to, yeah.
You always get into that off of their shot, you know, defense and then take it.
Simple one to learn. Here. Oh no, this is even simpler. Okay, inside tie or collar tie, either one. Here or here. All you do is this. So I call it a football carry. You just grab the back of the head, snap it down and under, and you grab it just like this. Right here. Right there. Now what I like to do here is I use my arms. Now talk to him over there. You can talk to him. I like to use my hands like this here because I want to hold it real tight.
You ever take the chin?
I don't think I have the chin. No, I got the chin. I'm making it tight by doing this. I'm making it tight by doing this. I'm driving my elbow into my hand. Okay, so here we're wrestling. Bam! Right there. Okay, now right now I'm going into motion. I know I don't have much time. And Chris Campbell and some other guys will do this, but I don't encourage it because it's morally wrong. They'll grab their own arm real quick and just pull you down with it. Because they control your head. If you control the guy's head, you control him. Now they got a front headlock. Okay? And in fact, that's another counter to the counter. I wasn't going to show it because it's wrong, but you're here. You're here and the guy starts peeling your hand. Whatever, you just come in and lock on whatever's there. And right now you take a step and pull that head right down and in a circle. Whether you got a front headlock or just a headlock.
They haven't got anything to post with them. Because they haven't got anything to post with.
Well, because you got a real good hold on their head. And you just drag them down. And what that even sets up, you go like this. Now look, I'm just locked on his head. Okay, I'm just explaining to you what some people might do.
Yeah.
Okay, you're here like this, right? And the guy doesn't want to get dragged down, so he fights up. And back to that. It happens real fast. Just boom, boom. Like that. Now, where was it? Oh, snap this. Here. Okay, you do the same thing rather than here with just this motion. Here's an underhook. Cup the shoulder. See how that kind of drags him down a little bit? Just dragging the man down. Okay, all I have to do though, to snap the guy down, I don't have to get him on his head. To get a front headlock, all I have to do is get him about that low. Okay, and here's a key. You don't want to bring your arm up to get a guy's head. I don't ever really use this hand that much to get a headlock on any of these. You just want your arm to stay here again, and you just snap him to it. So I'm here, right there. See that? In fact, not only did my arm not come up, all it did was shove his head down in the center of my chest so he couldn't duck or drag. Here, underhook. Here's the setup. I go like high crotch. He brings his arm back. That's not an arm, that's the leg. He brings his leg back. Right there, front headlock, okay? And they work together. I'll come here and I'll go. And this is the only time, really, I reach with this hand to front headlock is if I'm really not doing it. But everyone does it this way, so everyone identifies that. Front headlock, I'll go, ah, and whack him in the head and kind of give him a little pull. He lifts his head, we high crotch. So they work together real well, as does the inside tie. This is one of my favorite. Now, get in the stance so I can't shoot him. Now, I call this the idiot principle. Basically, I know which the guy's open for. He's either open for leg attack or snap down, and I fake whatever he's not open for, and most guys go for it. Okay, so I'm here, his legs are too far back, I fake an attack anyway, and I snap him right down. That time I used a wrist and an inside tie right here. See this? This is what snaps him, not this. He's here. I don't even need to fake, really. I'll just come here. Now watch the lead leg goes back, and my pressure all goes from my stomach to my arms, and I push down right here. See that? That helps. That's true on my underhook too. It's all right here. This lead leg always goes back, and I get pressure from my stomach. So that's from an inside tie, from an underhook, from an open tie, just doing the head. Yeah, that's pretty much it.